Garvey. She is the current trustee for the school board district B as in boy.
Oh, sorry.
So give her a round of applause. All right, who would like to go first of our esteemed panelists? Doctor, would you like to go? You haven't went first yet.
Okay, I'll go.
Who
He's
went
still
first?
chewing.
Would you like to go first?
Question.
No,
You have a
let
question?
Tim go
What question would you like to ask, sir?
Are we going to assume that she's only candidate?
Yes, sir. That's right. Yes,
Just,
sir.
I'm making notes, I want to make sure.
You got it. And evidently the one she was afraid, I believe. No, I'm just joking. Or maybe she's caught in traffic, but
Tracking.
we'll wish her well. All right?
Oh,
Are you ready to go,
all right,
Doc?
I'll go.
Doesn't matter.
All right. Since I happen to, as a CSN professor, and I happen to deal with the results of Clark County School District, and for the most part, there's nothing wrong with the kids, except they're pretty ignorant about the stuff they should know. And every time I'm talking to a administrator, they're always trying to compare CCSD with other states. Why can't we just say we want the best, we want to be the best in the world, and then go try to do that?
You have 1 minute.
So I think you're absolutely right. We should be try to reach for the best in the world. The problem is that the world is out there, and the best and brightest in our community are going out there, and then they're not coming back.
You all right? All right?
Okay.
Go ahead next.
Michael Broadway, Veterans in Politics. Hi there, Mrs. Garvey, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
With the problems within our school district, I'm always kind of like throwing out the old and getting in new. So I would like to know, since you've been elected, what you've done and what you see as number one and two problems going forward.
So since I've been on the board,
Can you get closer to the mic, please?
sorry, since I've been on the board, one of the best things that we've done is we've been able to do a strategic imperative type plan. It's the first time we've ever done that, where we've actually said, what are the top 4 or 5 priorities that we are going to do as a district? And with that, now we are aligning our dollars. We've never done that before either. And so being able to align our dollars to what we really care about, putting your money where you think you really talk, that I think is the biggest accomplishment that we've done. We're now going to start looking at return on investment on individual programs and going through that. It's a huge laundry list, but that I think is being able to be accountable to our community and being able to actually use our dollars wisely. I'm not opposed to spending some money on education. I just want to use it effectively. So for me, I think that is the biggest thing that I've accomplished. Going forward, I want to see our governance policies kind of change.
You can finish up your thought.
Okay, changing our governance style so that we have that ability to be more flexible and maneuver the system faster.
And next panelist, you want to start? That's it.
It's like being at home. I'm like, what project are we doing today? I need a hammer.
Who would like to go first over here?
It's
Oh,
Esther.
I'm sorry, you're next. Okay, sorry. You jumped.
Thank you. Hi, Patrick Will, Endorsed in Politics. Earlier we were talking about embracing technology and applying that in the classroom. What ventures or what is the plan for that to get our kids from K to 12 or really kindergarten, first grade to having teachers work with the kids and embracing that cutting edge technology?
So we are one of the leading technology districts in the nation. We're really seen as a leader in that field. What we do is we have a lot of one-to-ones. We're starting to do that. We had a great presentation where actually Google School over at Shadow Ridge, which is in my district, and that is a great opportunity not only for students to teach teachers, but teachers to teach students. And so they also are in a race for a grant to have a 21st century building design for technology. There needs to be a little bit of a balance though too, because technology is very expensive and it changes very fast. And when it doesn't have to it or it doesn't work, you have to have those skills to fall back on to be able to get to the answer that you need. So I think, yes, we need to be into technology, but we need a balance so that we know we have the skill set that the kids need.
All right, let's reset. That's another panel.
My name is Tim Batar. As a millennial voter, I ask all the candidates this question. My change below for you. What is your opinion on political correctness in the school system and cultural Marxism?
Well, I think sometimes political correctness can go way too far to where we're not even communicating with each other. And so sometimes we always need to be respectful and embrace that everyone is different and that they need to be valued and heard. But sometimes being too politically correct pretends that there aren't differences or that there aren't issues. And so in a world of respectful dialogue, I think sometimes we need to move back just a hair from being too politically correct.
Thank you.
All right, next panelist.
Hi, my name is Pamela Caden. I'm with Evolution Travel. Welcome, Christine.
Thank you.
So you talk about going back to technology because I know that, like I said, I see kids in the 5th grade that are more advanced than me in technology. So, I mean, in order to be competitive, and in order to have those people come back, what are we doing? You know, I know that you said that we have to have a balance. I don't know, I'm just wondering how the balance of the old way and new technology is going to be competitive and bring people back, because the balance is, it's going one way, that's it, the technology.
Well, and I agree, it is really heading that way, but I don't know about you, but I've been in a store where it's either been myself or somebody else, power goes out, and the person at the cash register, they can't make change, they can't do
Yep.
anything,
Mhm.
they don't know how much money to give you back. So I think that needs to be that balance, that's those simple skill sets that, you know, we all need to have. The technology piece, I think, we're doing some great and amazing things. Our partnership with Switch is one of many that we have. And also, one of our Southwest Career and Tech schools does a coding program that is actually a partnership where they listen to the business community here to know what kind of coding they needed to learn to be ready for the job market.
Very good, thank you.
My name is Robert Faust. Thank you for being here today. My question to you is simply, what are we going to do, or what is the school district going to do about the inappropriate mixture of teachers and students?
So what we have are many rules and that in place. The problem is, if no one's ever been caught, it doesn't come up on their background. So we've actually been proactive. We talked with our superintendent about this as far as being proactive to have that voice saying, if you are seen doing this or caught doing this, we will assist in full prosecution to every level. We've also started some professional development to make sure that our other teachers and those people in the buildings are recognizing those telltale signs.
Next panelist.
My name is Scott LaFada, and I'm with Citizens for a Better America. Can you comment in terms of the current performance of the school board and go ahead and give us a rank of A, B, C, D, E, or F? Maybe not E.
Is A the best?
A would be the best. Go ahead and give us a rank.
And then what
Not your
criteria
personal
are we
performance.
going to use as performance?
Well, I'm going to leave that up to you. That's the question's up to you.
So, on being proactive in changing and reformatting where our district is going, I'd say we're a B. We're actually a pretty innovative and gutsy board, willing to take chances and actually change our governance structure that will now evaluate us and that. Because if we're going to evaluate teachers and principals, we might as well be in that mix too. You know, you're only as good as the people that you surround yourself, and if you can't stand up to what you put them through, then you shouldn't be a leader. So I think we're a B, you know, and we're still growing and improving too. It's like any business out there. You have to keep growing and improving and changing, or get left behind.
All
Hi,
right, next
Christine.
panelist.
Good afternoon. My name is Freeway, and I'm the founder of Shine Family Foundation. My question to you is, if elected, what are your top 3 objectives?
So, top 3 objectives is to finish out getting our budget aligned so that those dollars truly do align to every line item in our budget, which is a big budget. Second is to get our graduation up. We're still growing. When I first came on the school board, it was 62%. We're now at 72%, and we are one of the fastest improving districts in the nation. We're not where we need to be yet by any means, but we are one of the fastest improving ones there. So that's going to be a big one. And so with that, I think the third thing for me is being able to talk about the equity issue. It has to be something we address here. Our demographics have changed. And if we don't do that and have those children be as effective as children of affluence, it's going to hurt our community all the way around. We need members of our community that are contributing and not taking resources out without putting them back in.
All right, that looks like all our panelists have been, asking questions. Thank you, panelists. We have people in the audience. Would you like to answer or ask a question? I have a gentleman out there. Will you please give him a microphone? Please state your name and a question, please.
Stephen Dempsey. I'd ask a question about the ELL. And until Friday, I had no idea what it was even about. Thank you, Kevin Hall, even had a segment on it. I was glad to hear that you said that they're starting to evaluate programs. Do the parents of students who are involved in these programs, do they get an opportunity to submit their thoughts on how it should be evaluated? In other words, I think the biggest public objection is that the parents of children that really care and want to advance are treated the same ways as the kids and the parents that couldn't care less. And they don't think that's fair. Why should their children be held back because some people don't want to learn? And if you can address that as far as the English language learners.
Sir, so what is the question really quick so we can get through this?
Well, I just wanted to know if the parents of children that care would be able to get involved in that evaluation of English language learner program that you mentioned.
Right, and so we had many town halls, I think a total of 11 town halls, and that where parents were able to come forward. We had many community members too that were part of that task force, some from the university system, some from the business community and the chambers, and just parents too. And through our FACES, which is our family and community engagement piece. So yes, and then the other piece that we have is a survey that goes out to every parent in the district. And so that's an opportunity for them to give their input too, along with some other parent groups that we have where individuals can serve on a committee and almost be advisory to the district.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Do we have another question from the audience? Please state your name and your question, please.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Garvey. My name is Karen Stillman. I'm the Auxiliary Director with Veterans in Politics. And my question to you is a general question. It seems to me like schools and education have come a long way from actually educating our children. And so I'd like if you could address what you see as the role of educators in our society today.
So, unfortunately, in the last few years, it seems like educators it's been put on their plate, you must do everything. You must teach our children, you must give them their moral compass, you need to take care of their wraparound, service needs as far as taking care of all their needs and that. And unfortunately, I don't think that that's something that should happen. Teachers take it on because they care and they don't want to see children suffering in their classroom. They'll take on that extra duty of finding somebody to get glasses for Johnny. They'll take on that extra duty of comforting a child who had a horrible, horrible experience the night before in his own home. What do we need to do? I think as a society, we need to start supporting families, supporting each other in doing what we used to do, and so that teachers can do mostly what they should be doing, and that's teaching the classroom. But I got to tell you, all my teachers, they adore, at least they pretended to adore me. So thank you. I don't want that to go away. Everybody here pretends to adore me.
We have one more question for anybody in the audience. Do you have our panelists?
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Okay, all right. This is just for the audience.
Okay.
So you guys already had your time. I'm really
You'll sit
sorry.
out there.
All right, so I'm gonna ask the question really quick is, why do you want to be elected as school board trustee in 1 minute to the panel?
Oh, okay. So the reason I want to continue in this journey is, one, I do believe in public service. It's always been part of my upbringing. My parents instilled that in me in an early age. It is one of those things that I love solving problems. I'm engaged in this work. I see movement in it, and it really invests in our future. I'm a native Nevadan. I grew up in northern Nevada and then moved here in '89 where my husband grew up. And I want our state to be better. I don't want us to be at the bottom of the list for all the good things and the top of the list for all the bad. Because this is a great place, and it's served me well. And I got a great education here in Nevada, so I want to pass it along.
All right. Thank you, Trustee Garvey. And that was for the office of school board district B as in boy.
Or best.
Or best, there you go, best. So anyways, we want to thank the sponsors again. We always want to do this. Scott Gromley of Rhythm Kitchen, Ron Q Foundations, Paul Padilla, owner of Paul Padilla Law, Michael Broadway, Robert Stoffel Law Group, Brent Jones of Real Water, everybody got their water in their hands, and of course, George Carson of alltalkradio.net, and the incomparable, wonderful Mr. Kevin Wall from Battleborn Radio. Thank you guys for being here.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you. Thank you.
You're the only one that has
I don't know who she is.
What do you think so far? What do you think so far? Good group of candidates and a lot to think about, or do you see it's my third cut for you?
It's education.
I've never been here.
Because it's pretty much
Patrick.
I'm actually surprised that you recognize it as in the school system. Like that blows my mind. Actually,
It's a lead.
like
My choices.
Okay, thank you.
This culture Marxism too, but I think this
When we were
is
putting our pool in,
like she
and
didn't
then we
answer
have
this
this
one.
rain.
I did like,
I did that. It was.
Why do you always leave it early?
You might
I think
be-
that's
Last week was a hurricane. What's today?
the political correctness, which is basically
You can't speak to this person in this way because
We actually have a real issue because what happens.
it's 221. It's 221.
And then the property tax cap.
I'm assuming so. Let me check.
And what happens is
And my thing is just there's no critical thinking in schools. K-12 is pretty pointless. There's nothing. You're not learning anything. You're learning how to take tests. There's no hands-on workshop or nothing. That doesn't exist.
education has changed so much, generation by generation.
2:30, Karen, or wherever you are.
Are we ready to go?
I was just looking to see what time the next one is. 2:30?
2:30.
Okay, what time is it?
We did, we got 10
I
minutes.
got 4 people.
do you know Carol Velardo? Yeah, she's actually gonna be
I
working
should
on
probably go back and man my station. Should I?
2:30, so we got.
why make it
It's not like it's that big a deal.
tools?
Stress out too much.
He wants me to sign up, and I want to get somebody town hall
You know, it's funny. They
and
taught us,
encourage them
they
to join VPI.
told us at the elections too, right? They said, I've read it 5 times. They said, whenever you have a sign up, Yeah, sure, why not?
I'm gonna go over there and get my gravel.
Did you come all the way up here just to put fresh pepper on his salad?
And the salad. I brought that
See what I
up.
gotta deal with?
We gotta go find out for everybody else, and see how we're doing, all typically.
Really?
That's not the way to run a business or run a school. We want to be the best in the world.
Well, you guys actually have one of the largest.
No, but you can only have one parent.
That's Jim's gravel.
You can only have one parent. Parents never took everybody.
What do you teach?
I've learned that I can't read.
And, so, I used to be able to
Well, let me check on it.
I had to quit.
Oh, that checkpoint, or what, not checkpoint. I mean, got all the
Look at that, how nice. Did I hear right? Or he actually came up to put pepper on your salad for you? You did? That's nice. Yeah.
Since you got here.
Yeah. That's right. Do it.
Gotta make it the complete taste of it.
See, waiters take pride in making sure you get the ingredients for the foods that they serve.
He's the guy that made the banana thing.
You're kidding.
He's like, oh, like, brought out a little cart.
Well,
I want a banana.
Crazy stuff.
That
I was
sounds
like,
good.
oh, shit, banana show, that's awesome.
Made a big deal out of it. Yeah, where was that from?
Real cool.
It was nice.
Like, it's paying $11 for a banana, basically. And a scoop out.
Yeah, that sounds good. Banana on the milk.
He brings it out, it's a venue or table side. It's worth it.
It
It's
is.
a show. It's
It's
nice.
entertainment, it's good food. It's an experience. Is it hot? It's a hot vinaigrette?
No, I see use one hot vinaigrette.
Oh, really?
But it's a very mild vinaigrette. It's not
Good.
It's not bad. It's refreshing. Probably better with time.
Not really? It's just vinaigrette.
It's just it's really very soft.
Yeah.
Very tasty.
Yeah. Well, that's probably better for you.
Oh yeah. I'm assuming this is better.
I want a drink. I want a swim.
I just don't
Yeah.
want to taste it.
Yeah.
I want to taste the pepper.
Yeah.
It's not bad. I mean, it's not bad.
Yeah. It's just not what you
It's just a little lack of flavor. It's good.
It sounds very healthy.
Love salad. I eat salad every 5 seconds.
It's good.
The
Greens.
only problem is I can eat about 5 pounds of chicken.
I know.
I told this girl, my buddy was a date. My buddy was a date this girl. I had seen her for like 20 years, right? So this is like 2 She shows up at his house and she said, you speak good luck, what happened? I said, well, it's 100 pounds ago.
So that's what I'm saying. People have talked about that. I'm not talking about oh, he only does it on Saturdays now? Because he used to do it every day. Because I live right down the right in front of the
It's contract work and that, so
we used to do it every day. So I used to read it when I would go to work.
You gotta replace it.
Maybe that's close to it. That was
Grind it too well, huh?
that was interesting.
It'll wake you up.
Clear senses.
Yes. Is it like regular black pepper pan?
Well, it's
But I mean, I looked into it, yeah, I don't envision this at all. Just have to say it is. Doesn't matter, I know people, I know two families who are there, visited the break to shoot the children. So, and you're going to be saved as a false flag, because they're all the other. That's a bad thing. You give me a list of the names. No, I don't want to website because you can write anything. You find the names of the children types and look at their families. They own the houses and you look at their houses. You can see if they're real big, to see if they're You're talking about facts. You're talking about facts and the issue facts. Don't go to another website and pull out papers. You can write anything on that. You look at the pictures. You can write video about anything.
Is it good? I enjoyed
He told you, so you didn't actually verify this. So you went to his website. You're talking about facts, and we're not even looking at facts. You don't know what he's telling you. Unless you verify it.
I got my see what they do. I read this question from
If somebody comes, and we kind of governmental meeting and starts but disregard all of that, just look at the facts and say, so you know for sure that you're telling me I can do this. Exactly.
That's what they do.
I can violate rules too.
They say, oh, they all shoot.
Carol, we gotta go. Let's put people up there.
I know what.
Oh, crap.
Okay, I didn't.
No.